ABZAN, ELDRAZI, Modern Deck Tech, welcome in, much love. Trav here with Gary, MTG Boost from the Magic Mastermind. So Gary, MTG Boost has been working on a sweet ABZAN, ELDRAZI, Modern Deck. It's got Goyfs, it's got Siege Rhinos, it's got ELDRAZI Displacers. And you took this to an IQ top 8, and it got some attention, and from there a couple teams took it to the WMCQ, and it earned a couple top eights from that. So this is something that is already proven itself somewhat and is gaining in popularity. So since this isn't the type of deck I would play on this channel, but it's really sweet and I've been watching it develop, I wanted to bring on Gary here and talk to him about it, ask him about it. So what's up, man?
Oh, nothing much, like you said. I mean, it's something new. It's definitely something that's got me excited. It's definitely something that's got people excited. So, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, it's just exciting for me to be able to put out for people.
Mm-hmm. So what's the inspiration behind this deck? What got you started on wanting to make this deck a thing?
Well, I wanted to play Bant Eldrazi originally,
Mm-hmm.
so I looked at Bant Eldrazi and I wanted to see the other modern Eldrazi's. Didn't find too much modern Eldrazi other than colorless red green, and that was pretty much it. And I looked into
Mm-hmm.
ABZAN. There was nothing for ABZAN. There was only ABZAN Eldrazi
Mm-hmm.
standard. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, okay, why not? Let's throw one together. So we ended up creating something that was, pretty much the rock, but throwing in Eldrazi's in it, and ended up being something great. It
Mm-hmm.
made sense.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I the mastermind to help fine tune it,
Mm-hmm.
and after that, it became its thing.
Yeah, we've been working on it, and I mean, you're right. A lot of people were looking at Abzan Eldrazi or Black White Eldrazi, Death and Taxes, and didn't find it to be that exciting. And when they see this deck, they're like, "Wow, that's what I want to be doing." So, I mean, it's got the Thought Knots, it's got the Smashers, it's got the kind of junk core. It's got the best black discard and green black removal, white removal, and it's got Eldrazi Displacer Siege Rhino.
Oh yeah, that's that little combo is pretty sweet. I mean, just keep on bouncing Siege Rhino and Lightning Helix him to death.
Mm-hmm. So, basically, what I see from this deck is it's a more or less a fair deck. Um, it's not really combo or oppressively fast, but man, you've got Inquisition, Thoughtseize, Thought Not Seer. So you've got 10 discard spells. You've got Path to Exile, Abrupt Decay. You've got good creatures. What's not to like here? I mean, it yeah. Would you define this deck? This is kind of a mid-range, right?
Right. I mean, it is a mid range, but I mean, you can still cast Thought Knot on you know, turn two.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, get that bird out there, you drop Eldrazi, still Thought Knot comes out on turn two.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's everything that you're doing or casting in this deck is value. That's what I was going for. It's just
Uh-huh.
something that's valuable around.
Yes, it is. Yeah. So one of the cards that I noticed here, and when we were discussing it in the group, one of the cards that made a big difference is Ancient Stirrings. So for a green, you look at 5 cards. So this thing can find the land you need. Obviously, Eye of Ugin is banned, but it can go get Eldrazi Temple. You can get the mana fixing you need. You can also grab a Spellskite or a Thought Knot or a Smasher. Um, Tell me about Ancient Stirrings.
Ancient Stirrings works well. I mean, if you live board as well, you got some artifacts that really can end the game quickly for whatever type of deck you're playing in the meta.
Mm-hmm.
Ancient Stirrings works really the whole go and get your Eldrazi. Yeah, you might skip a Siege Rhino, you might skip the Terminal, but if you hit that big Eldrazi or even
Mm-hmm.
Displacer, because Displacer is just something that needs to be dealt with itself, or nobody's gonna be able to do anything on
Oh
the other
yeah,
side of the
Displacer
field.
is devoid. It's colorless. I forgot about that. So yeah, and you make a good point. So Ancient Stirrings grabs Relic. Sorry about all the wind. I hope it's not too horrible. I mean, we're here for the content, you know. If you this is for the deck tech. If it's not, uh, the environment is not necessarily. Anyways, yeah. So a green deck generally does not have this much selection and being able to find its sideboard cards. You know, usually that's something out of like a blue deck, but you can dig for your spell scout. You can dig for your Dragon's Claw. You can dig for your relic. There's a good if you bring in a colorless card in a matchup. There's a good chance you can go find it.
Right. It's. I mean, searching through 5 cards at a time
Mhm.
is just sometimes you need that filter to get. And I've actually used it and hit nothing but lands. Thank God I did that. It's I want to drop a
Uh-huh.
whole bunch of lands, drawing it back to back to back.
Uh-huh. So tell me about Eldrazi Displacer in Modern right now. I mean, you have the Siege Rhino, you've got the Thought Knot. What else does it do?
Eldrazi Displacer just by itself can control their board. I mean, it's a creature-heavy board. I've had games where all he did was just bounce their creature, tap it, and just sit there and keep their whole team tapped
Mhm.
because Eldrazi Temple taps for his ability, so 2 mana for his
Mhm.
ability because it is an Eldrazi.
Mhm.
So you can sit there and bounce their creatures, turn them sideways, and come in and attack for free, or just protect yourself.
Yeah, it returns it
There's
tapped.
Right. There's been
Uh-huh.
several times where I play Infect, where they go to pump their
Oh,
Infect
yeah.
creature, and I'm just turning aside.
Yeah,
I mean,
or you can
it's
bounce
great.
tokens, Lingering Souls, if people play that. You can
Exactly.
detach a creature from cranial plating or something like that. Um,
Yes.
so one
Uh,
thing we go ahead.
oh, go ahead.
One thing we talked about is Thrag Tusk over Reality Smasher. You can blink the Thragdad and you get a 3/3 and gain 5 life. So, but you seem to have stuck with the Smasher. Why?
Well, the reason I stick with the Smasher is because it is ABZAN
Mhm.
Eldrazi, and to take some of the Eldrazi's out
Mhm.
would make my Ancient Stirrings probably less
Mhm.
good.
Mhm.
Thrag Daddy is exciting, but if I actually did Thrag Tusk, would I want to? It was hard to pick out exactly what to take out
Mhm.
because everything in this game is good, and I want
Mhm.
to try to keep it more Abzan than anything.
Mhm.
So,
Uh huh.
uh, Reality Smasher, every time Smasher has came up, it has had its use. So,
Sure. It's just an insane card. We've all played with, and I haven't played with it actually, but we've all played against it. It is and this can come out. It doesn't look like you can get it out before the third turn, but still pretty good on the third turn. Okay, let's talk about the mana base a little bit because that was a big puzzle for this deck. Because it's fundamentally a four-color deck, right? You've got your green, your white, your black, and your colorless. So you've got Eldrazi Temple, and you've got a whole lot of stuff that has to tap for green. So what do we see here? Brushland, Forest, Llanowar Waste, Marsh Flats, Overgrown Tomb, Temple Garden, Twilight. You definitely have got a lot of early green for your birds, which will make everything work, but and Ancient Stirrings to find what you need. So what's the biggest drawback here? It looks a little bit painful, right?
it is a little bit painful, but at the same time, I mean, if you get your birds out there and just start dropping Thought Knot and
Mhm.
Displacer, the game kind of is one-sided, especially when you get that Thought Knot lock going on
Mhm.
and just bouncing the Thought Knot and just exiling all the good stuff out of their hand.
Mhm.
But I mean, also Siege Rhino out, all that pain, gets healed little by little by little.
Mhm. Exactly. You've got the life gain in Siege Rhino that not every deck has. So um definitely really sweet. Who would you recommend this for? What type of player?
I mean, I recommend it. I mean, it plays like really, an Abzan deck.
Mhm.
It's just, it has Eldrazi's in it. It has, we don't have
Mhm.
Lingering Souls no more. Yeah, that
Mhm.
kind of is. I wanted to put Lingering Souls in here, but really there was no room to just smash it in there. But
Mhm.
I mean, really the mid-rangey player, the guy that kind of likes
Mhm.
to annoy people, because whenever I play the deck on paper and I'm looking across the table, it annoys the guy that I'm bouncing his creature and there's nothing he can do about it. So,
Uh-huh.
I mean, just getting in there.
Mhm.
So, I mean, for the, I guess the trolling type mid-range player, it definitely is a deck to play, and it's
Mhm.
competitive. Like I said, I mean, I've top aided an IQ. I've had a team go and play with
Mhm.
it. I've had two people and say that they top aided with it.
Mhm.
I mean, whenever I first played the deck on paper and made the top 8, I had
Mhm.
several different people hit me up. Great
Oh
sideboard
yeah,
in
I
there.
mean it's sweet. Like this is the type of deck that people are like, yes. And personally, it's not the type of deck I would play because I have a no. I'm on hashtag never goif. I've been on never goif for years and years and years. But if you own the goifs, this seems like super awesome. Sorry about the wind, by the way. Man, I need to get the fuck inside, but my roommate is on a graveyard shift. He sleeps during the day. So, um, we'll just have to bear with that for a moment. See if I can duck behind here. Yeah, so, what about matchups? Like, are there. Jesus Christ. Sorry, audience. Matchups. So, is this. I don't know if I believe in good bad matchups. Does this have good or bad matchups? Like, what do you want the room to be full of? What do you not want the room to be full of?
Um, I want the room to be full of pretty much junk decks are not bad at all. Junk decks
Can you
are not
repeat
bad
that?
at all. I mean, we got the. I said junk decks, Jun, are really, I found to be easy. In fact, if you get a Displacer out there or a Spell Sky, have been just easy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Burn does it with the Siege Rhinos in there, and pre-board Burn is not bad.
Mm-hmm. Can you run that back? You want to play
Tron,
against. You want to play against.
I want to play against really. I want to play against Burn. I want to play against uh, Junk,
Mm-hmm.
Jun. You know,
Fair decks.
uh, yeah, fair decks. Well,
Uh-huh.
Tron has always been a big enemy for us for that period.
Uh-huh.
So I
Tron.
mean,
So Tron's kind of the matchup you don't want to face.
right? Tron's like the
Mm-hmm.
because we can't mess with their mana base.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we can't bounce the Karn either if it comes out on turn 3.
Mm-hmm. But you can
So
smash
really,
it. I mean, you got discard though. So, and you have up to
we do
4
have this.
Thoughtseizes. So if you wanted to fix that,
Mm-hmm.
maybe you could run Fulminator Mage or something.
Right, we could change the sideboard up. The sideboard plan that I have right now was for the meta that I had at the time.
Acidic
So the
Slime,
sideboard can always change,
Eldrazi Displacer, Acidic Slime.
right? And Bird's helping pump that out faster.
Mm-hmm. What
So I
else? What
mean,
other matchups?
like, really, I mean, I haven't. Ad nauseum's pretty rough. Okay, I'll
Mm-hmm.
give you that. Ad
Mm-hmm.
nauseum is uh,
It seems like you can
pretty
win
much
those.
combo
I
decks.
mean, some of your creatures are slower, but you got the 8 discard spells. You've got, um, I mean, that seems like it should give you a chance against just about any kind of combo deck, right?
It does. I mean, it really helps. It does. But sometimes, it's just they got those moments where they just top deck the right thing, and then
Mm-hmm.
we can't do anything about it at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And they can go off at instant speed. So even
Mm-hmm.
if I do bounce my thought not to get something out,
Sure. Yeah, they can ad nauseum in response, I suppose. Um,
mm,
but yeah, I mean, it just seems like it's competitive. You look at the cards in the deck; they're all the best cards are in here, and the mana is actually pretty decent. Um, so I mean, is it you're just gonna keep playing this?
oh, I'm definitely going to keep playing this. I mean, one result for me the first time playing it on paper and I top aided. I mean, and other people that hit me up have, a couple of top aided, a couple of them did good. Some of them just, they admitted they had bad luck. The deck is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Sure.
when
Well,
a
I
team
mean,
hits
if you have two teams hit you
The
up and
team,
10 people play it, 4 or 5 of them are
right,
not going to do well, right?
right. When they hit me up and tell me that man, we were going to play Bant Eldrazi, but this deck seems a lot sweeter. We're going to throw this stuff to the side. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, Bant Eldrazi is being established, and it's just like, okay, we're going to jump this.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite exciting and it's quite fun for
Mm-hmm.
me.
Sweet. Well, I mean, we have the matchups. We've got the card breakdown. Um, yeah. So if people want to, you're working on some match plays, right, with this on MTG Boost.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm trying to get the service back up right now,
Mm-hmm.
but I will be. My next series for that will
Mm-hmm.
be the Eldrazi deck.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so if y'all wanna, there'll be a link up on the screen or somewhere to the MTG Boost YouTube, so you can go check that out. And then also for those of you trying to up your game, we've been working on this in the MTG Mastermind. There'll be a link to learn more about that somewhere on here as well. What do you think about the Mastermind, Gary?
Well, Mastermind's been great since I jumped in. I mean, my game level has improved. My
Mhm.
thought process has just drastically
Mhm.
improved. I mean, the first GP I ever went to, actually, I never went to out of all the years playing. I finally just said, screw it, I'm gonna go to the GP.
Mhm.
Day two, that GP.
Mhm.
I mean, it was. I mean, like I said, the whole thought process of the game
Mhm.
has changed for me and how I react to different plays instead of what I did before. So, I mean, I've gotten more strategical.
Mhm.
I've learned, and that's about as much.
Awesome, bro. Well, thanks so much for coming on. Leave a comment if you got any questions about it. Um, Make sure to go check out MTG Boost on YouTube and give it a thumbs up if you like this deck. And we might see some articles coming from this around the internet too, yeah?
Hopefully, that's what we're going for. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, bro. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Take care.